After 8 years of waiting, me and my friend are going to see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm not going to keep any of his intro longer, obviously I'll have my reviews later on. No spoilers, obviously, and we're going to listen to the movie. See ya! I'm with my friend Johnny, the Master Lord. Go show your lovely face. When we got inside, we actually got these really cool Freddy Fazbear Pizza style pizza boxes, which we get super cool. I still have mine. It's amazing. But when we actually sat down, it was a big crowd. Like when we were going to the auditorium or the room for our theater, we actually had to sit in a line, which was just insane. But it was cool. But when we actually sat down, a huge group in front of us were like, "Hey, we're from college and we're coming to visit. It's a huge group, a huge fan group, and we're all going to come enjoy this movie. I hope you guys aren't annoyed." I'm like, "Oh no, it's amazing, it's cool." They were all in cosplay. It was great. But the coolest thing ever happened to me when they turned around and said, "Do you want an emotional support Markiplier?" For anyone who isn't aware who that is, he's a YouTuber who's very well known on YouTube, of course, but one of the big things he's really known for is his connections with FNAF and the memes he's brought along. And also, he's a huge reason why FNAF is as popular as it is today.
Hey guys, I think the little man said he wants to give Fredbear a big kiss. On 3, 1, 2. Was that the bite of 87?
So again, it was a super nice thing. It's actually my favorite YouTuber ever. Again, my whole theater experience was amazing. It was full of just the energy from fans of when we all started clapping when the movie we didn't even see a scene yet, but as soon as we saw Universal Blumhouse, we were all just clapping and going, "Let's go, here we go," because all of us have waited, I would say probably, 8 years for this movie to come out. I think it was announced in 2015, so I'm gonna say probably about 8 years, which again, longest way I've ever done for a movie, next to Ghostbusters 3, which is Afterlife. But again, it was full of clapping. Every plot twist was met with just gasp and everything. Again, I personally think this is probably my favorite and my favorite theater experience ever. If that group is actually watching this video, thank you for the amazing experience. Again, that was truly an incredible experience I'm never gonna forget, and it's all due to you. So thank you guys so much. Me and my friend had such an amazing time. But let's actually get into the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. For anyone who hasn't seen the movie or at least wants a quick run of what the story is, the movie is centered around Mike Schmidt, who's a guy who is jobless, looking for jobs, who's right now trying to fight over the custody of his young sister, Abby, which their Aunt Jane, is trying to fight custody over with him.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered it.
Silly Aunt Jane. She fell asleep.
And so to, really prove that he's capable of taking care of her, he is trying to get a job, which he does find a job with the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where, while spending his nights, he's also discovering the secrets and the mystery behind the missing children at Freddy Fazbear's, which may or may not have connections with his brother who was kidnapped years ago. And that's basically the premise of the movie. If you have not seen the movie, stop watching this video. Go watch it. It's truly an amazing experience, and even if you're not a fan of the series or you don't know too much about FNAF and you only know a little bit, I promise you it is truly an amazing experience of a movie. Even if you don't understand things, it's a very fun movie to watch. It has its funny moments, has its scary moments, and again, it's not a boring movie at all to watch. So again, please check it out. Story is a big part of, I think, the biggest thing I was always worried about with this movie. Five Nights at Freddy's, the first game, if you disconnect it from the other games, It's quite literally one of the most simplest FNAF games out there, because a lot of the games, you know, after the first one tried to fit more story into it. Well, this first one really didn't, and the only story there ever was is hidden with like the phone calls and some like clippings and little mysteries, but again, not a huge amount of like mini games and way hidden secrets of. So in a way, I've always been kind of worried about how could you make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which literally, as you see, is literally a game about just watching cameras and closing doors and surviving. After seeing the movie about 5 times, I think the story worked really well for the movie. The way it feels, the way it sets up its things, though I do think there's a lot of other things they don't properly set up. I think overall, what they did with the story, which I would have never guessed, like if you told me to make a FNAF movie, I would not go in the direction they went. But instead, there was something that I didn't expect the movie to do, and something that I think is way better for, is not doing the traditional killer animatronics. Instead, they treat the animatronics the way they really should be, based on the actual story behind them and the reason why they do the things they do. If you didn't catch on to the movie, which it's said out loud, so you should have probably caught on to it, that the children that were missing were actually murdered and they're possessing the robots. So kind of midway in the movie, at the end of the 3rd or 4th night, you actually have this amazing fort scene of the animatronics making a fort. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really sweet. I was so confused, but I love it. Every time I see it, I just smile and I laugh. It's generally a nice scene. I think fits well in the movie. I do the other thing, you know, I see a lot of the critics say, and I'm not going to make a whole segment about how the critics are so wrong, because at the end of the day, opinions are opinions, and we have to respect that. But I do think a lot of the criticism of this movie feels a lot like people just making stuff up in their head and not realizing that's not what FNAF is. A lot of people didn't like the movie because it wasn't a simple, dumb movie about killer robots and we gotta survive the night, we gotta kick their butts, we gotta survive, they're gonna kill us. And there's parts of that movie you do get that, but you know, the movie treats the animatronics the way they should be treated, that at the end of the day, these are kids possessing robots and they want to live their childhood. And this movie turns into more of just a paranormal robot killer movie, you know, like Chucky and all that, which I'm not saying Chucky's bad or anything or call it simple. Chucky's a really good movie. I love Chucky, I'm not bashing it. I'm just glad the movie didn't go that way, because I feel like that would have been just too simple for it. It just feels dumb in a way of just, hey, they kill things, because why not? Instead, they actually, in a way, this actually turns the movie into a different kind of messaging about manipulation, and how much we see that a lot through, you know, with these animatronics who in these like parts I'm talking about are very friendly looking, although in the previous parts of the movie and even later we see them more angry and aggressive and they're murderous. But at the end of the day, they're just kind of kids who are being manipulated by the yellow rabbit, which is a huge discussion that I want to talk about, and I'm a little mixed on. And to kind of transition into a different character in a different part of the movie that I really liked, and I think the way they went the direction with was really well, is Vanessa. Of course, this has probably been, I think, the most debated character of the movie, if whether fans have liked the change or not. Near the end of the movie, we get revealed that Vanessa is actually related to the man behind the slaughter, the Yellow Rabbit, who also is known as William Afton, who's also Steve Raglan, the job counselor at the beginning of the movie. For anyone who is not aware of the original game. Now, you might wonder why this was a debate about making Vanessa related to William. Because it's a huge change in the lore and the story of Five Nights at Freddy's, because number one, Mike, who in the game is not just called Mike Schmidt, but his full name is Michael Afton. But no, they switched that to Vanessa, and though there might be a different character, they're So a lot of us expected that would be how the movie would go, but very thankfully I think they didn't do that way. I just feel like ever since before the movie came out, that I always felt like it would have been a very contrived reason. It would be a very contrived thing to have to explain Mike and William are related. moving on again, to the actual main character, Mike, in the games. Even though Mike is the main character of most games, he doesn't really have a character or personality. So I really do like this characterization of him. Yeah, I thought it was a really good switch to who doesn't have much personality in the games. You know, when I watch most movies, I think the child actors are the worst ones. It's no offense to them. It's just most kids don't really know how to act and are just kind of thrown in there. But Abby, what a great actor she had.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think her name's Piper. Piper did a really good job, you know, see all the behind the scenes, you know, videos and photos. I really did see like she had a lot of energy and she loved it, and she kind of really fit well with the character of this very wide-eyed, weird outcast of a girl who they could have made her a shy, like really angsty kid, but instead it really felt well that she was a energetic kid that would seem like would have a lot of friends, but she's too busy talking to air. Besides these three, which is our protagonist, our antagonist of the movie is William Afton, Steve Raglan, also the Yellow Rabbit. Which, as though, you know, the last probably 10 minutes of the movie, or 5 or 6, where William actually is present, which by the way, when he entered in, my whole theater, that was the loudest my theater went. It was insane. Oh my god, his entrance, one of the best. I love it so much, love it to death. But him entirely as the Yellow Rabbit was a really good part of the movie. I just wish we got more of it. I think the lead up to that moment, I feel like they led the Yellow Rabbit, they built up to the Yellow Rabbit really well. They didn't build up to Steve Raglan, okay, William Afton being Yellow Rabbit, because I don't think, like, you know, of course at the beginning you think, you see all these weird behaviors, and everyone knows who the actor Matthew Lillard is, and everyone's like, okay, that's the bad guy, right? That's the bad guy. And so I really wish they would have really built up to that moment that, oh, like, let's put in more Easter eggs that Steve Raglan is the Yellow Rabbit other than a few weird moments. So that's a big criticism I would give. Another criticism I would give for a character is Golden Freddy, which I think had the most dumb criticisms from people. A lot of people said they were really confused, thought it was Freddy, though literally literally the first time that we even get to see Golden Freddy, the kid there, he says, "I'm not Freddy."
Not Freddy.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand. I don't understand.
And also, he's missing an ear, has a blue eye, like that's not the same character, no duh. But I guess because of the color. But again, I think for like, I thought it was just Freddy, but like, just saw Freddy like a few minutes ago, he was fine. But I'll give the most criticism towards because he's only in the movie for like 2 minutes, I think. He comes in, does some dialogue, has a funny moment with Corey and Abby, which we'll get into Corey in a bit. Leads it to the restaurant, and as soon as Abby gets in, he never shows up again. I mean, the kid shows up a lot in the movie, but Golden Freddy, he barely shows up, and it's a little unfortunate that such a big character doesn't show up at all. The whole movie, that end part, I was like, okay, when's he showing up? Oh, come on. I thought he would help them when they surround William and attack him, but no, he's just kind of gone. No one knows where he went. A big thing I really like with this movie is the music. The music was amazing. I think it's the Newton Brothers, I'm gonna say. I think that's right. The opening theme song, everyone's talked about it. It's an amazing one. Every song that they made for this movie is truly a masterpiece, and I love to death. I think they did a great job of composing for this movie. Mainly being obviously practical effects and barely any CGI moments, it pulled off really well. The animatronics themselves look fantastic. There was never one moment I was like, ah, that's a guy in a suit, you know, like Banana Splits. Never once said, hey, that's someone in a suit. That's obvious. Even like in videos when some YouTubers like Dawko would meet them, I thought those are animatronics, and then realized, oh, it's a person in a suit, and it took me forever because they did such a great job of acting like real animatronics. Again, I thought all of that was really great. Yeah, I had a huge smile on my face when I saw these animatronics come to life on the big screen. Another big thing I really liked is the direction. Again, I forgot her name, and I'm so sorry. But the director, she did an amazing job on this movie. A lot of the shots, the transitions, everything about like just like the sounds and the way they did this movie, and you know, being on the line of rated R, which is a whole discussion about the rating system, what this movie should have been or not. I thought it did fine for PG-13. I think generally the direction of this whole movie was just it was really good, and I'm very happy that I think she said to come back to direct the next one. Wouldn't want anyone else. The FNAF movie was not a disappointment. I would say out of most video game adaptations, it's one of the best ones. Probably my favorite adaptation of all. You know, when I see an adaptation, I always have a lot of problems with, and I always feel like there's not something they fully get right about one thing. But this movie, though I have my nitpicks, I think as a fan and everything else, I think this movie did a great job on adapting something that's really hard, I feel like, to adaptate to a film. And I think it did a great job and realizes what it needs to do and what not to do, and what things to change and what things not to change. And focusing on things I don't think any of us would ever have, like, say, if you gave any fan to write this movie, no one would have gone the route this movie did, and it's amazing. And I think overall this movie is probably my new favorite movies ever. Christmas is coming, and I hope I get a DVD. Just saying, Santa, if you're watching this video, please, I want a Blu-ray, 4K, whatever. Five Nights at Freddy's, pretty please. If I had to give this review as a fan of the original adaptation work, I give it a 10 out of 10. It did a really good job on adapting stuff, telling the story, the changes, all I said before. It did an amazing job. So if I give a rating for what I think like a general audience would have liked this movie, I give it a probably about an 8 out of 10. I think it, you know, it can be a little confusing. You know, not everyone knows the specific details of why that's there, why that's happening. So yeah, sure, again, thank you all so much, and hopefully I'll see you again probably in like 2 years when the second one comes out. Hopefully. Guys, have a good day, everyone. See you all in the next.
Look at you! You are wretched, rotten little beast! I made you!